I'm Indy Nidell.
I'm not.
And that's Flo. And this is a recap of our road trip that we're just about to finish up to Austria, Slovenia, and Italy. Now, this began in Berlin. I had been down there to film some regular episodes at the end of last week, so we took off from Berlin on Sunday, right?
And we drove to Salzburg.
That was like an 8-hour drive, something like that? And we got to Salzburg, and then we took photos of us at Konrad von Hötzendorf Street.
First highlight of the trip.
And probably still the main highlight of the trip. Well, one of the main highlights of the trip. I'll mention another one that I like later. And we met Bernhard from Military History Visualized. And we went to dinner with him and had some really excellent, what was it? Schweinbraten?
Schweinsbraten.
Schweinsbraten.
The crust was excellent.
Yeah, it's delicious. Oh boy, it was really good.
Yeah.
So,
it was.
And we didn't do any big filming or any specials or that because we had driven all day and we just talked to him about the war.
We should come back to Austria though at some point.
We should come back to Austria at some point. Yep.
I mean, there's a
I'm just leaving it there.
There is a Konrad von Hötzendorf Straße in Graz as well, you know.
Oh, we'll have to go to Graz and add to our collection of Konrad von Hötzendorf Straßes. And so then we had to get up really early the next morning because we had to drive through a piece of Italy to Slovenia. And where did we go?
To Kobarid.
Which you may know as Caporetto.
Yeah, if you read up on the Battle of Caporetto.
Right, or the Battle of Kobarid, which is the same thing. And we went there, and it's on, well, the Socha or Isonzo River, where there are many battles that we've talked about. And I'm not going to tell you how many more there are that we're going to talk about. And it's really, really beautiful there. I mean, it's in, you know, the mountains are mostly green. They're not as high as, say, the Dolomites, but they're plenty high. And what did we do when we got there?
We drove to Kobarid, met with our guide, Leon, who from the Walk of Peace initiative.
Yeah.
Their initiative, so basically you can do a commemorative hike from the Adriatic Sea to the northern tip of the Socha front.
Yeah.
Like through the valleys and everything, and learn a lot about warfare there and everything. And Leon took us to Kolovrat.
Kolovrat, which was amazing up there actually, because there's still trenches, there's still dugouts, there's still machine gun emplacements.
It was like on, I think, 1,200 meters.
Something like that. And you can really, that's when you really get to see, for the first time for us to see, visualize how difficult mountain warfare actually is.
Totally,
you know, taking the peaks and carrying things up there, like particularly water. Because you might think, well, if it's the winter, you can just melt the snow and all, but you can't. You have to thin it out. You have to, but people didn't do that and they got sick. And of course, there's some places like near Kolovrat where they don't even get snow and ice in the mountains. There's no water whatsoever up there, so you have to carry it up, just like you have to carry artillery, which is a big problem.
Yeah, and some of the strategy around the Socha Valley really made sense because, like, just from climbing out on that, you know, I mean, 1,100 meters is more medium peak, but from there you could see the northern Italian plains towards Venice. You could see all the way down to Trieste and the Adria.
You could see Tolmen. If you walked, you know, if you walk 50 meters, you can see the other side. It was a real commanding position.
Yeah.
And the weather changed every 5 minutes. So if you couldn't see, you just need to wait 5 minutes and then you could see.
Yeah.
But we shot some really good material from there. And then we went to the local museum, the Kobarid Museum.
Yeah, which you should check out. Very good. Plenty of material to see there. Gives you a very good idea, not only about the Battle of Caporetto, but generally about the front. And they did a really good job.
And actually the history of it, even going back like 1,500 years, the history of the region, that was really cool.
Yeah.
We had a fan meeting at the local pizza restaurant, which was good pizza, by the way.
Yeah, really good pizza.
And then we spent like 4 hours or something.
Yeah, 25 people, fans from us, from Slovenia.
Mostly Slovenia, a couple of Italians there. And there were some Americans from Toledo who were surprised that I asked them about the Mud Hens, the Toledo minor league baseball team that's actually been around since the 1800s. But for any of you out there from Toledo, go Mud Hens. Not Indians, though. Never mind. They'll get it.
So we did the fan meeting, which was cool. It's always fun to hang out with the fans.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they were great.
So sleeping, again, getting up very, very early, because then we drove to Vittorio Veneto, which you also might recognize as a name because it's a site of another famous battle.
Yeah, which we'll cover when we get to it in the regular episodes. But the museum there is very interesting. The Museum of Vittorio Veneto, because it's in 3 stories, and the bottom one is just about the war in general and trench warfare.
With an excellent selection of artifacts and everything, so very, very good stuff.
And the top, well, let's get the middle one is about not just so much the Battle of Vittorio Veneto, but spoiler here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. the Central Powers occupation of that part of Italy north of the Piave River between Caporetto and Vittorio Veneto. And that's a really interesting bit. We shot a whole special about that because we don't go so much into just the specific occupations. We talk about things that happen in the occupation of, say, Belgium and different parts of the Eastern Front. But this was really interesting to see a whole, micro section like that. And then the top floor of the museum has a lot of photos and letters and documents and propaganda and stuff from all the main players, the heroes, the anti-heroes. There's Gabriele D'Annunzio, there was a picture there, who we'll see after the war, I suppose, more. And we had to end, of course, on that great picture of Cadorna.
Yeah, that was good.
It's pretty impressive. You see all your heroes, Caviglia, Lord Cavan, everybody.
There's also a small side room which is an armory, so if you're interested in, for example, Italian rifles of the era and everything, they have some very good stuff there too.
And then, after that, we had another fan meeting at a trattoria.
Yeah, the fans were already with us at the museum, actually.
Oh yeah, they came around the museum with us.
And then we went to a trattoria there.
Yeah, and Flo had found it because he was looking for a good trattoria that was open between like 2 and 6 in the afternoon, and that was the one you found. And we got there and they served us food, all like 20-something of us who were there. But it turned out they weren't actually open between 2 and 6, so the internet actually lied. Can you believe that? The internet lied about something.
I think this is still outrageous.
I know. We have to write to, who do you write to when the internet lies? Somebody should do something about that. Vote Indy and Flo in 2018, right? Yeah.
For more truth on the internet.
More truth on the internet. We'll take care of things when the internet lies. Trust us. And all your dreams will come true. We got to make bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to see Indy and Flo in 2018. We won't even say what office we're running for or country.
Does it really matter?
Vote Indy and Flo in 2018. A chicken in every pot. Or a vegan meal in every pot if you don't eat chicken.
Yeah.
That's an awful long campaign slogan.
Maybe we can make an acronym of this.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll work on it in the car. But anyway, that was excellent food. We had excellent Italian food, like 4 courses, 5 courses. And again, the fans were great. And basically we just talk about the war with the fans at the fan meetings. And, and take photos and sign autographs and things.
And when the owner found out that we're doing stuff about World War I, she came back with a photo which actually showed German soldiers right after the Battle of Caporetto.
At that trattoria.
At that trattoria. Pretty drunk,
with the La Mama and the Papa, who were the people that founded that trattoria that's been around since before them, the original owners. So what did we do after that? But then we went back to the hotel, yeah?
Yeah, which was not so exciting.
Well, me and Tony had a really good dinner, didn't we, Tony?
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was really good. You guys were lame and just hung out. Me and Tony had more excellent Italian food. And then we got up early again. And by the way, let's be very clear. I don't usually get out of bed until 10:30 or 11 normally in Stockholm. And we've been getting up at 6 and 6:30. So for me, this is a real exciting adventure. But now, yesterday, when we got up early, we really went into the mountains. We went up to 10,000 feet. We went to La Gazouille. And it is a commanding view of pretty much the entire the Western Dolomites and the Eastern Alps. And that was one of the most impressive places I've ever been in my life. I've never been up that high.
Absolutely. I mean, like, Houston, where you're from, is like barely...
It's a pancake.
And it's barely above sea.
We have a neighborhood called the Heights, which is like as high off the ground as like that is.
Yeah, and I'm from Berlin. I think the highest mountain in our region is like 70 meters or something.
And it's like a mountain of garbage that they just put
probably
grass over.
Probably.
I mean, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. No, it's an old mountain. It's a classic mountain, right? Well, anyway, we took the funicular up there, and we had 2 experts with us. We had a local expert named Stefano, and well, Stefano actually came up on the mountain with us and went through dugouts, and you guys went down to the trenches with him to shoot stuff. Yeah, he knows everything about these mountains.
He's basically one of the people responsible for the open air museum that the top of the La Gazouille is now. I mean, it's it's good for vacations and everything, but they put like 18,000 volunteer hours into...
No, 8,000 days of work.
8,000 days of volunteer work into preserving the tunnels, preserving the trenches, reconstructing some stuff.
And doing that work 10,000 feet high in the snow. And I mean, it was covered with snow even already.
Yeah, and thanks to their work, you can go up there and actually also if you get a guide, that's best if you want to have stuff explained. But there's like hiking trails and everything into these positions.
There's skiing in the winter. He said one of the back slope down La Gazouille that they do skiing in the winter. I can see that.
So thanks to Stefano, and definitely visit this place if you want to get a glimpse of what fighting was like.
And if for some professional reason you need to get hold of Stefano to talk about things about it, for maybe a book or even a scholarly article, or maybe just because, talk to Flo and he can put you in touch and stuff, all right? And we also had Emanuel Vogt with us, who wrote the book, the German Alpenkorps on the Dolomite Front, 1915, which is really good. And so we talked to him about just that summer of 1915 when the Germans illegally, actually, in terms of war, served on the Italian front, because Germany and Italy were not even at war then. So they had to be completely secret, because if they set foot on Italian soil, and they were caught by Italians setting foot on Italian soil, that could have brought Romania in the war already then against Austria-Hungary.
So it's basically like a origin story of the Alpenkorps.
Yeah, and which is pretty cool. And even like there's no photographs of them on the Italian front, because there was one photographer. He became like a wanted man. They wanted to arrest him and seize all of his films for taking any photos of the Germans that served there, just for like 4 or 5 months. But that whole day was just insane.
It was very demanding, but was also one of the best shooting days I ever had.
I mean, it's September, and it was beautiful weather, and it was still absolutely freezing, and the wind was crazy, and just trying to imagine what it was like on a bad day in January, February. We had much better clothing and equipment than anybody there.
And we could just go to the restaurant on the peak to warm up in between.
Which had good goulash.
Yeah.
The goulash soup was quite nice there.
And then we went to the hotel where we are now, which is called La Baida, which you should check out if you want to visit, for example, the La Gazouille.
Yeah, it's close by. And if you're anywhere in like the northern half of Italy or Slovenia or southern Austria, you should really come to this region, because it's maybe not in January, February if you're going to go to the mountains, but it's staggering. You can see 50 different mountain peaks spread out below you.
Yeah, we will put a link to a few of the locations we went there. All the regions here are very tourist friendly, amazing nature, amazing scenery.
Amazing food too, like
amazing food, extremely friendly people. So, if you are on a holiday and just want to, see some nature, do some hiking, you can do that here. But you can also learn about World War I history if that's interesting to you, because every owner of every restaurant here will be able to tell you something about his or her relatives and everything. The region is really full of it. So, it's I think the best combination for a vacation.
Yeah, it's really cool. And even as a little bonus, I found a piece of shrapnel from a high explosive shell, still just sitting out there on the rock up there. Now, I'm sure most people passing by wouldn't know that this is a piece of shrapnel from a high explosive shell, but they're pretty heavy, these things. But that's still out there, more than 100 years later, just exposed to the elements.
But please don't come to the region with the metal detector.
Oh, you get a huge fine. It's something like 10,000 euros?
10,000 euros and up.
Yeah, that's the low end.
If they catch you doing this kind of stuff. So, respect the history here. Yeah. Observe it, learn from it, but don't try to make a profit from it. All right.
Oh, and now we're going to leave Italy now, yeah?
We're going to leave now towards Bavaria.
Okay.
Probably having one great Italian lunch on the way.
All right, cool.
And again, this trip was only possible because of your support on Patreon.
Yeah.
So if you want to see more of that, we will definitely do some more road trips. Consider supporting us on Patreon.
I still want to go to Guam.
Thanks for everyone who showed up at the fan meeting, who helped us out organizing this. Like thanks to Stefano.
Oh, yeah,
thanks to the Kobarid Museum. Thanks to the
Veneto museum.
Yeah, everybody was really helpful. Thanks to the fans who helped us with like translation, reservations, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think you will very much enjoy the episodes that we shot.
Yeah, we shot some really amazing stuff. All right. Well, we'll be seeing you soon. Take care.